Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rayche Riches, and it's me, Rachael. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving you reasons why you should watch The King Eternal Monarch. Now hold on, before you eat me raw, I know that it's another K-drama, but trust me, I'm going to give you my undiluted, unbiased opinion about the drama in itself. I'm going to put aside my love for Lee Min-ho and give you fresh off-the-pot opinions on why you should invest your time watching this series. So without wasting further time, without wasting any of your time, let's get right into it. So I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should be watching The King Eternal Monarch, because if you have not watched it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. So number 1, Lee Min-ho. Number 2, Kim Go-yoon. Number 3, Woo Do-hwan. Okay, I don't know why that was supposed to be funny, but it's not. Okay, now I'm serious. The first reason for watching The King Eternal Monarch is the fascinating duality the story has to it. So number 1 is the story genre. The story is set in a parallel world, or as you may also call it, parallel universe, whereby it's got elements of time traveling, suspense, mystery, thriller, and it's really interesting. Have you ever wondered if another world existed apart from the world that you currently live in, and you discover that somebody who looks exactly like you, a doppelganger, exists? But the only thing I didn't like was the fact that the other selves were killing the other selves. So you've got the person who looks like you killing you. Okay, that's very bad. But however, I think the writer Kim Eun-seok did a very marvelous job of transporting us into a different imaginary world that doesn't exist, and just the same way as she did in Legend of the Blue Sea and Goblin, it was really fascinating to watch. And I believe she also did a very good job, especially in terms of the alternate universes, the time traveling patterns, and it was very evident in the way the series itself was edited. So in order for you to watch this kind of drama, you really need to pay attention to the plot. You really need to pay attention to the way the story translates from scene to scene. In addition, we also saw the actors take on the role of dual roles. So we have Kim Go-yoon and Woo Do-hwan, who played double roles, amongst many others as well, who played double roles, which sort of like stretched out their acting skills and capabilities to me, which I found really interesting. So if you're looking for something along that lines, then you should definitely see The King Eternal Monarch. Another reason why you should watch The King Eternal Monarch is the story theme. The series has a beautiful combination of what love is, addressing the love for one's country, the love for family, values, loyalty, and even personal growth in itself. And the writers of the show were able to portray an in-depth meaning into what equality is, and also talked about the mutual respect between the parties involved. Now, when you start watching the series, it might seem complicated in the beginning, but do you want to watch a series whereby you can already tell how it's going to end? I don't think so. So this series in itself has some sort of like puzzles to it, and for me personally, when I'm watching series, I like to try to guess what is going on. I like to try to like solve a puzzle. And even Lee Min-ho, who acted the role of Lee Gun in the movie, is a mathematician, and he said in one of these interesting scenes that in order for you to get to a solution, you have to solve a problem. So in order for you to get to the end of the movie, you have to follow the plot of the story. So you need to solve the problem, which is the plot. For me personally, I believe this story gives your brain a run for its money, because you're trying to think about what's gonna happen next. How is this gonna turn out? It had us questioning ourselves over and over again. I had a lot of questions in my mind, and at some points, I think in episode 13 or 14, 15, I was second guessing myself, like, where on earth is this piece of work heading towards? So this is something that's gonna give your brain a run for its money, so you should better check it out. The third and final reason why you should watch The King Eternal Monarch is the amazing CGI and cinematography. The production team really outdid themselves. You know, at some points, there were points in the series where time had to stand still, but we still had actors such as Lee Jung-in, who acted the role of Lim, and Lee Min-ho, who acted the role of Lee Gon, who were still moving in the midst of that standstill, and it was really phenomenal. The picture was it was so clear, especially for something that is coming from South Korea, and in terms of fantasy, it was really good to see. So if you are a cinematography freak like me and you look out for those things in movies, then this is something you should definitely check out. Now to my bonus segment where I talk about less serious stuff. So let's talk about costume. But costume is also serious. The costume of this series was amazing. I know it got a lot of backlash in South Korea because they talked about how that they used Japanese designs for some of the, you know, the venues and the scenes that were shot. But for me personally, I still believe like they did a very amazing job when it came to portraying the two different worlds. And even though they said it wasn't accurate in terms of the costume of the emperor, they mentioned that is for something that existed in the Joseon dynasty, but then the alternate universe is shown as a place that doesn't exist within the Korean Wojiron Theocracy, or what's it called, the Korean timeline. But still, I still believe that the writers did an amazing job with the costume. Woo Do-hwan's suits were tailored to fit. He looked really dashing with his hair. I felt like Lee Min-ho was supposed to be like the starstruck act of this series, but a lot of people were shouting because of Woo Do-hwan. I mean, Woo Do-hwan is hot, don't get me wrong, but I feel like all the actors and all the actresses, they played their roles really well. Then let's go to the ladies. I mean, for Joo Eun-chae, who acted, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, Joo Eun-chae, who acted the role of the Prime Minister, her outfits were she was just giving us back to back, from shoe to skirt, from trousers to that babe, she stole my heart. So if you are like me personally, I look out for costumes when I'm watching series, so the costumes were top notch. And yes, I'm not gonna end this segment without talking about Lee Min-ho, of course. Did you see those uniforms? Did you see his jackets? Trust me, if you're in for costume thing, then you should definitely watch this series. Like I said, this is my bonus segment. I've given you all the serious parts, so you should definitely watch this series. So before I let you go, a note of warning: if you are someone that is quick to jump on realistic expectations, then don't watch this series. And I'm talking to those ladies, those of you that you know yourself. So I saw a lot of tweets, a lot of people were talking about how that the realistic expectations of men has been raised up, the bar has been raised, because Lee Gon, that is the main act in the series, was pretty amazing. He was loving, he was kind, blah blah blah, and he seemed not to have any flaws, even though he did have some flaws, but I'm not going to give you any spoilers. So if you're somebody that is quick to jump on the unrealistic chain of something that you want but you can't have, don't watch it. I'm warning you. To be forewarned is beforehand. Why am I sounding like Mrs. Murafa? Okay, anyways, so don't jump on this train, avoid it. But if you know that you can keep your feelings in check, then go ahead and have a jolly good fun. So other thoughts, my final thoughts: a lot of people were complaining that the story was too complex and difficult to understand. Well, I beg to disagree. You need a lot of patience to watch a series like this, and if a writer writes something and hands it to you in a platter of gold, then what is the purpose of them telling you a story? You know, we need to have some twists and turns sometimes. It's not every time that the story will go straight. And personally, a lot of people said they didn't like the ending, but I think it had a beautiful ending, so you're definitely not gonna get your heart broken in the end, just to say it. So this is something that I believe you can invest your time in. Could the series have been better? Yes, but then writers really spend a lot of time. I'm a writer myself, so writers do spend a lot of time, you know, honing their crafts, improving on their previous work. So sometimes just give them a round of applause for a good job done. Okay, anyways, that's all for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and keep watching Rayche Riches. Bye.